But we get into now the Alabama quarterback race. How effective, how efficient will Bryce Young push? Now, Bryce, as we all know, coming in from modern day high school, Santa Ana, California, had a tremendous high school career. Over 13,000 passing yards, over 174 total touchdowns, 152 of those passing. A guy that was a five-star quarterback, a guy that was a state champion in high school. Just every single accolade you can imagine, Bryce Young was able to snatch that and more, getting things done. And you as U.S. fans, very excited to see what this young man can do. Me and the media want to see what he is made of in terms of the future of Alabama football, where that is concerned. He's added some weight. He's now 6 feet, 190 pounds now. And when he got to, Alabama on June 1st to work out with some of the wide receivers, the offensive line, and other players, starting to kind of build that chemistry and that camaraderie, he's going to get on the field. Bryce Young is going to get on the field. He is going to have some moments that will wow fans, that will excite fans, that will entertain fans. I'm not going to sit there and say he will not have those moments, because he absolutely will have those moments. And in a situation where Mac Jones just completely sort of kind of falls apart, Nick Saban will have no problem going to Young, just due to he's done this before, with Tua Tagovailoa in the 2017 season, the 2018 national championship game. But when I look at Mac Jones here, Mac Jones is just as competitive as Bryce Young is. And here's a guy right here that you go back and you look at last season. You go back and you look at last season where, Mac is concerned, and he played in 12 games. He started in 4 of those 12 games. Now, I took out the Western Carolina game because that's a gimme game. That's an easy game. You're supposed to win that game. So I looked at Mac Jones's 3 starts against defenses that actually had a pulse, and that was Arkansas, Michigan, and Auburn. And I threw in some names here of guys that started the entire season, or started in more games than Jones did. So you have Trevor Lawrence of Clemson, Justin Fields of Ohio State, Joe Burrow of LSU, Tua Tagovailoa of Alabama, Justin Herbert of Oregon, and Jalen Hurts of Oklahoma. And when you look at these names here, starting this thing off with QBR, quarterback rating, Joe Burrow had the highest QBR of all of these guys at 94.9, highest in the SEC, highest in the country. Tua came behind him at 94.8. You had Justin Fields, 92.1, Jalen Hurts, 89.7, Trevor Lawrence, 87.3, and then, of course, Justin Herbert at 74.7. But when I looked at Mac Jones against Arkansas, he had a quarterback rating of nearly 92, 91.9. Against Auburn, had a rating of near 90, 89.8. And against Michigan, 95.3. So adding those up, dividing by 3, he has an average quarterback rating of 92.3. 92.3 for Mac Jones in 3 games here. So in 3 games he started in, against quarterbacks that played a full season, started a full season, or started more games than Jones did, Jones had the 3rd highest QBR in the SEC, behind only Burrow and Tua. And then he had the 3rd highest QBR in the country, behind just Burrow and Tua. And along with that, you look at his passer rating. Jones's passer rating was 197.5, 3rd highest passer rating in the SEC, 3rd highest passer rating in the country, against the teams that, of course, Jones played against, the 3 teams I've mentioned, Arkansas, Auburn, and Michigan. Combined, he had near 1,000 yards passing, 994. He had 10 touchdown passes to 2 picks, a great ratio. Had a completion percentage of 70.8. You don't see many NFL quarterbacks hitting at that type of clip. He was only sacked 1 time a season ago. The offensive line did a bang-up good job. And in terms of, these 3 teams that had players on their defensive fronts to get drafted. 7 players combined from those 3 teams had players to make an NFL roster, and Mac Jones tore those guys completely apart. So I know stats don't tell everything. I know stats don't mean everything, but they do give a pretty vivid picture. And just judging from these numbers, it just looks like, judging from these numbers, Mac Jones has the capability. He has the potential. He has the wherewithal to take this team, right, and lead this team to, a national championship and win that national championship. Bryce Young is going to push, don't get me wrong. He is going to get into this rotation, as he's already in the rotation. He's going to make everybody around him better. He's going to get into games, and he's going to wow people. I even feel like there may be a game that he starts in, and it could be against UT Martin, as Alabama could rest the starters, put Bryce Young on the field against UT Martin, just see, how he's able to maneuver and do in that matchup right there. But if there was to come a situation where, a Mac Jones would fall completely off the face of the map like Space Jams, then we could kind of see, having Bryce Young being thrust out there. But as of right now, I think week 1 of the college football season, Bryce plays, but Mac Jones starts week 1. He hasn't given people a reason to not trust his ability to start week 1 of the season. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage on the Crimson Tide. You can get this from downloading the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You can do it from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you just so happen to have the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, we got you covered on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, iHeartRadio, or Overcast.fm. We got you covered. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I will return on Wednesday talking Crimson Tide football. But until next time, folks, husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children do those things legitimately now to not be bored. Get those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself, protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, it's been in my own words. Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.